Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is episode 107 on November 14th, 2018. I am Clyde. Today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello, Clyde.
And Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
Gentlemen, how are we doing on this fine November day? Silence.
Yeah,
That's exactly what we want on a.
No. So it's how do I put it kindly? It's been busy. It's been a kind of a get things done before the weather turns. Get things in order before before it's a lot of busy work for me, keeping me for the most part. Trying to not giving me enough time to sit down, relax, and do anything fun, except for in the middle of the night where I stay up late and do some things that I probably shouldn't. Talk about it later.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming up on Turkey Day. Next week is our third annual Black Friday special, or are we calling it an extravaganza? You know, we figured out before the show. We will always have a show the day before Thanksgiving. Every year. Unless they change the day of Thanksgiving.
I don't think that's not going to happen.
Dude, they changed. What happened? We used to get 2 holidays in February for George Washington and Lincoln. They changed that, so now it's just President's Day.
No. I don't know.
They changed
because I'm guessing that's because too many presidents were wanting to have their birthdays being, represented, and we get more presidents. It's going to be more days, and give it a couple hundred years, and you won't have any days that aren't holidays. So that doesn't work.
I'm just waiting for the day that somebody decides we need to abolish Thanksgiving because we're celebrating the what is that the destruction of an entire race of people, essentially.
Well, no, we're celebrating the nice dinner we had before we did that. So not exactly. It's more of a preemptive celebration. Like, hey, we actually think you're pretty cool, but
hey, thanks for all the food. Here's smallpox.
So then there's another
and influenza.
So that makes Thanksgiving a wonderful holiday that leads up to Black Friday, which now has another meaning in my head that's horrible. No.
Badweave says the new federal holidays required are Election Day, the day after Independence Day.
No.
Why not? You don't want the day after after the 4th to also be a holiday?
I'd rather have the 3rd and the 4th since it was signed on the 3rd anyways, but that's okay.
And the Monday after Super Bowl.
I can understand why that would be a good idea because there's a lot of people who could probably use the day off.
People need time. They need that time to be able to get the TV back to the store before they can't return it. See, that's why it's always best to buy if you want to buy a big TV. Your best bet is always a couple days after the Super Bowl because there's a lot of floor models and open boxes.
And they're really well priced. Yes, I'm sure.
They've been used once.
Yeah, exactly.
4 hours.
Barely used. Ignore the chili that's thrown on the corner of it. That was
I knew a guy. I knew a guy that did that every year, but this was before flat screens. This was the big giant like had to wrestle it in and out of the house.
Oh.
And I always refused to help him. I was like, nope.
Hire the guys. Come on. Just hire the guys to
Yeah.
bring it in and put it back.
Hey,
Let's
you
make
know,
some money
Bad
off
Weave
that.
says, like new, only one beer can dent. If that beer can dent knocks it down about $400 or $500, I'll take a beer can dent. Now, if it's still basically regular price, nope, no thanks.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we get into the news? I hear there's something pretty interesting going on in China.
So, speaking of news, we have a new Chinese virtual anchor, which is able to read the news to you in a most, realistic way. Well, that's because a China person stares at the camera, and reads the news, and barely nods and talks very clearly, and that's how he talks. And that's the whole thing he does. Which, that being said, it is fairly realistic, except for they wisely chose, or maybe didn't even choose, a kind of robotic voice that basically can prove that it's not a real person. It is an AI, but it is literally the body double of an actual anchor reading the news in that anchor's voice as fed to it by a test on
I think that this is something that will work very well. The only thing that changes about this guy is his eyebrows go up and down, and he blinks a lot, and his lips move. I am not actually doing it justice because my chin is moving instead of just my lips. If I could talk effectively without moving my chin, I can't do it.
I think I'd rather watch one of the characters from Half-Life give me the news.
Yeah. They move the lips pretty effectively, but like I said, the chin doesn't move, the head and body don't really move, the eyebrows move a lot, and the eyes themselves blink, but and it definitely has a very robotic cadence and tone to it. Though it does sound like a person, it just isn't spoken in a way that is natural for a person to speak.
The first thing that strikes me when I see this, the character looks like he's right out of 1962. The second thing is, I wonder, did they name him Max? I seriously hope they did. Number 3, they're calling this the AI anchor. They completely missed a naming opportunity, which would be Anchor. AINCHOR. The Anchor.
Yeah, they did, but they are Chinese, so maybe they didn't realize their missed opportunity of having an excellent English punch.
So the thing that's the most incredible about this really is that this is China's way to have complete and utter control of everything that goes out, and to be able to disseminate it as quickly and effectively as they want. This is obviously a really bad thing for knowledge share of. I mean, free press isn't the right word because it's not even remotely free there. But I mean, it's hugely bad. Of course, I'm frozen again. No, actually, this is the AI Michael going. He's just not very good. The mouth doesn't move very effectively.
I like this. This is the best AI.
Yeah, like
It sounds very realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the voice. They worked the voice one better, but the facial manipulation is not working very well.
That being said, I really think that the AI is very happy.
Yeah,
It's pleased with
this is yeah, definitely not a good thing. This is really, really bad. Taking control of the media to an all new level, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the question though. We're going to have experts of some kind who are able to tell the difference between what is a normal person, a real person, and somebody who is some kind of artificially generated photo of somebody, because if we don't have that, we can't trust anything that's ever somebody says that's not in person ever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I think we already are at a point where you should be questioning everything you hear and see that's video, regardless of whether it's online, over the air, or whatever. You should already be questioning that completely.
You know, I mean, and this is exactly what every government wants, because AI doesn't second guess the things that it's talking about. It has no conscience, and will never say, you know what, I'm not doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is a super bad thing. It's fortunately it's a Chinese thing and not an American thing, because that would be super awful. But
okay, insert joke about how robotic a couple of our acres already are. So
yeah, well, regardless of who you think about, right? Like, at least they're real people that are being the idiots that they are in the way that they're being idiots, right? Like, this is truly the government taking full control over the media.
Wait, in China? No.
Why don't we bring this back to America and talk about something a little bit more fun? Hey, does anybody here like anime? Guess what? Netflix is developing 5 new anime shows, and 2 of them are based off of some well-known properties, including Pacific Rim and Altered Carbon. They're working on new anime based off of the popular series, and a couple extras, which will be available probably starting next year. Which means more anime fun for everybody. Hey, this is the new Netflix. It's continuing to diversify what they have. I'm guessing that when they are looking at their when they've been looking at their numbers of the people watching things like Castlevania and other anime shows, they realize that there is an audience for it. So,
well, they've been doing their own anime for a while. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah. I did raise my hand that I like anime, but I was frozen at the time. I think that I got unfrozen, so that's good.
I can see you.
This is cool. I mean, I'm always excited to see good new content coming from any source. Some of these shows actually sound really good. The last one they mentioned, Trees or Teresa or Treasy or whatever, sounds really interesting. A novel about mythical creatures living alongside humans and facing off against a criminal underworld of malevolent supernatural beings. That sounds right up my alley. Super excited about that one. And the Altered Carbon one sounds really good too. I'm a huge fan of the Cowboy Bebop stuff, so I expect it should be very good since it's got one of the writers from that.
Well, if you like Cowboy Bebop, did you watch Space Dandy?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh.
I mean, I've been out of the anime scene for a very long time. I mean, Cowboy Bebop.
$5 a month gets you Funimation now.
Yeah.
Do the $5, watch the 2 seasons of Space Dandy, and thank me later.
Okay.
Another great recommendation.
This is one of those things where it could be really good, it could be really bad. I'll wait to judge it until it comes. So I have no opinion on the Pacific Rim or the others except for Altered Carbon. I really liked Altered Carbon, and the anime could be good if they focus on the hotel. Because the hotel was the best character in Altered Carbon, in my opinion.
I never watched Altered Carbon, but I did see the first Pacific Rim movie. That's straight up anime. Needs to be its own thing, so
Yeah,
it totally makes sense there. Giant robots and monsters fighting, and a little bit of pilot bickering. When you're perfect, you're fine.
Yeah. All right.
There's been a festival that came up. It was the world's first GIF or GIF Film Festival, your choice. I say GIF, but I don't care. That allowed you to have a bunch of these very short films being sent in for, and apparently we've had some winners. Now this has been put together by Giphy, and I do pronounce it that way because it makes sense that for that word.
It wasn't put together by Jiffy, the peanut butter company?
No, not Jiffy. but they've now provided a Now Film Festival where you can actually go ahead and see these short films that have been offered for. I mean, they're like 30 seconds long, where you can go ahead and see all this stuff. Now, the funny thing is that the short film stuff is becoming a thing. This is why I'm saying I brought this up, because
I mean,
you're starting to see a lot of social media coming with the short film thing. This is going to be a thing. Unfortunately, this is going to be the short attention span kind of stuff that people are going to be into. Well, now, that being said, if you go and watch some of these, be aware that many of them are not kid friendly.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by this, because for the past 3 years they've been doing an event here in the cities, and I'm sure they probably do it everywhere else, but it's the Cat Video Festival, where they rent out one of the stadiums, and everybody goes to the stadium to watch cat videos on the big screen. And they're just like this. A lot of them are GIFs. They're short videos, just the stupid cat videos you see on the internet. And you've got like 10,000 people all at this stadium to watch cat videos.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, if they're doing that, why not just open it up to GIFs of all kinds? But yeah, rock on.
This is I'm torn with this one. Like I'm okay with people doing the art however they want to do art, right? This is your choice, but this is ridiculous. Like the idea of award-winning 14-second GIFs seems silly to me. I watched the video. The one, it's something in the water, right? Like it's getting washed away by the waves of the ocean. It's whatever. If it floats your boat, great. I'd much prefer to go see the cat video thing.
Yeah.
Because that actually sounds fun and cute and entertaining.
Cat videos win every year. They need their own category, so they can't win best.
That's why they have the Cat Video Festival. So then they don't have to feel bad about leaving it out of the GIF festival.
I don't know. It seemed like the kind of thing that we just needed to address here, and maybe we'll never address it again. All right, moving on. T-Mobile has actual hardware news, something we haven't actually had in a while on this show. T-Mobile's internet set-top box has been shown off in an FCC filing, which is showing off their new over-their internet television service that they've been promising to change the entire market with. So it's kind of interesting to see that this new device has an HDMI pass-through, works over Wi-Fi or with Ethernet. And we'll be seeing how this can disrupt the new TV world probably this next year.
The most exciting thing about that, I think, is right there, that HDMI pass-through. Because that was the thing I absolutely loved about the Google TV, and which was dropped when they came out with the Android TV, was that ability to be watching TV and bring up something over or do multiple windows and switch back and forth. I'm not a T-Mobile person. Jimmy is, so I'm curious what he will have to say about that. If any of you,
I don't believe you'll have to be a T-Mobile customer to get this over-the-top service.
Oh, maybe. I was going to say, if any of you out there that are Sprint customers, you will soon be a T-Mobile customer. So.
What?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, but it does mention that it doesn't look like there's 5G cell connection on board, which is naturally where I thought this was going to be going. So yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I believe they are. I believe that I don't remember his name. The guy CEO from T-Mobile basically did one of those things where he says, "We're going to mess with everybody's current way of thinking and how they do things and do it better," because that's what he does.
They do. Yeah.
And sometimes, every once in a while, he actually is able to disrupt a bit, and usually it's a lot of talk and maybe a good deal, but otherwise it's the same thing you're used to. So either way, that's okay. Bring it on, T-Mobile.
Yeah, rock on. I'll be interested to find out what it is when it's official.
Okay. CBS All Access is now going to be, okay, not officially, but unofficially called the new Star Trek channel, because they are now looking to make another Star Trek spin-off series starring Michelle Yeoh, which is one of the captains on the new CBS series right now. That brings the total up to 4 possible shows, including Star Trek Discovery, the new Patrick Stewart show, this show with Michelle Yeoh, and the Lower Decks cartoon.
You called it the Star Trek channel, but I thought that was that title is officially owned by the BBC right now, because all they show anymore is Star Trek. It's like one new episode of something, and then like 23 hours of Star Trek.
I'm not complaining.
I'm that it's good for somebody, but
there's worse TV.
The new season of Doctor Who. Yeah, you're right.
But I don't watch the Doctor Who.
So yeah, if you're into the Star Trek, you're gonna be happy. Possibly.
Well, I'm okay with this. I would be just fine if somehow they went ahead and made an actual channel that was all Star Trek. I mean, because it's obvious that they're looking at the gold mine they're basically sitting on and going, if we do this right, we could do all kinds of cool shows. Maybe we could, make 4 right now. Yeah, we can actually do 4 right now. And people will watch that and go, and if they had all 4 at the same time, I would actually consider paying for CBS All Access. I'm not yet, but dang.
Okay. And is there something that I would know her from other than Crazy Rich Asians or Star Trek Discovery?
Good question. I do not know.
Okay.
I would probably IMDb her to find out, but
the name sounds familiar, but I can't place her, so yeah. Okay.
Nope, I'm sorry.
Michelle Yeoh has been in several other movies.
Catching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, okay, that was what I was thinking.
Oh, I was so angry that I got dragged to that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't enjoy your Wire Fu movie? Come on.
Well, number one, I didn't know what I was getting into and then I walked out of there going, "What did we watch?" There was like no story. There's just people flying around, and I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, she was in Wuha Can Long. That must be where I know her from.
Okay.
Oh.
She was in
Guardians of the Galaxy.
She was in Guardians of the Galaxy. She was in Tomorrow Never Dies, a Bond movie. She was
And she was Lotus in Marco Polo.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen that one yet.
I made it about halfway through that first season.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. She's...
Okay. Kung Fu Panda 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, rock on. Good for her.
Netflix is considering a new lower tier of pricing for people in poorer countries that will cost about $4 a month for a mobile-only plan. This is right now being tested in Malaysia and possibly going to be opened up to other markets. Now, here's the question. If you were primarily a phone user, maybe you weren't. Maybe you could think of somebody who was mostly a phone user right now. Would you consider a $4 a month version of Netflix?
Me personally, no. But if I only watched it on my phone, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why pay?
Yeah.
Why pay more if you're not getting the benefit of that? But also at that $4 price, you're not going to get multiple streams. So yeah, if you're like some broke college kid, you know, $4 a
Mom
month.
pays for my internet. I get it all on here. So
Yeah.
yeah, I pay for the $4 plan.
Yeah, you're constantly on campus Wi-Fi.
Want some ramen noodles? I got some ramen noodles.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
$4 means you might actually be able to get a Big Mac every now and then.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Netflix is going to be discontinuing support for the Nintendo Wii and a couple other really old platforms as well. Basically, the Nintendo Wii has a huge install base of the Netflix discs out there. That it was the most popular way of viewing Netflix for a while when the Nintendo Wii became popular, because they would send out a free disc to anybody with a Nintendo Wii to be able to watch Netflix with it.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, they've actually made an app that you could just download as well. And that platform, which was been supported for since what was I think it came out in 2006
or well,
2007.
Netflix streaming didn't come about
Right.
until 2009. So yeah, but still, we're looking at almost 10 years.
Right. So that's a pretty long time for this platform, which is now finally going to sunset and go away and be a simple little box that can only play little games, which, it's okay. It's what it is anyways.
Yeah. When I first read this, I was thinking in my brain Switch, and then I was like, wait, we just had a story that they haven't even launched on it, and they're already pulling it?
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are two newer generations of Nintendo devices, right? So there's the Wii U and then the Nintendo Switch. So to discontinue on the Wii, it's very long in the tooth, and this is happening along with a large number of other apps going away from Wii support in January. So this is not just Netflix giving up on it. This is either Nintendo itself or at least a lot of other companies giving up on it at the same time. And of course, Nintendo wants you to go out and get a Switch or a Wii U or something. So they're fine with this going away.
And they're happy not to support it anymore, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think Netflix is heeding my uncle's advice. He says, you never take a Wii. I mean, what are you going to go in there behind somebody and take it? No, you leave a Wii.
Thanks for that sage advice.
And
Okay, now that the awkward pause is over, sad news, everybody. I'm sure everybody already knows, but our favorite person to provide cameos in superhero films has died.
wait.
Stan Lee, not you.
Oh. It's like, what's going on?
No, not you. Stan Lee. Stan Lee, Marvel legend, who creator of the X-Men and the Spider-Man, has died at the age of 95. Also very, very popular in most recent Marvel films because of his cameos in almost, I believe, every modern Marvel film and at least one DC film.
Yeah.
I was happy to hear that they had some pre-recorded cameos that they can use going forward, only for the fact that I would absolutely hate it if his last appearance was in Venom, because that would have probably killed him. Although I do think that Marvel killed him for making an appearance in a DC property. So I think it was a contract. The death is very suspicious. I mean, dude was only 90.
95.
Or 95, yeah. He had another 10, 15 years in him. Easy.
Well, oddly enough, he started having a lot of health issues in the last year, which would probably coincide with the filming of Venom, which, from what I hear, is a patently awful movie. So
That made $200 million.
So far, it's not over yet.
yeah.
Well, the other thing is that if we go back to our first story about our virtual anchor, we can have Stan Lee forever if we want to. And I'm okay with that, especially since Marvel has done this with a couple of de-aging projects of their own characters. And also we've seen some digital versions that look okay. I'm perfectly okay with some kind of Stan Lee cameo, even if he's just in the background in every movie that ever comes out by a Marvel property from now on. Excelsior.
You know, and it's a bummer, but he had a good run.
I agree. It is sad. He's an awesome individual, and he continued to contribute till the very end. So that was really pretty awesome. I found out on our Discord server by what was posted by M-Beam yesterday. I think it was M-Beam that posted it, and it was
the sand. Yeah, it was in response to my post about
yeah. And so I saw that little the meme, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, did he just die? And hashtag too soon was a little bit understated, considering that's literally how I found out.
I think I'm gonna need to have a dedicated stream about this. It's Marvel killed Stan Lee. Prove me I'm wrong, or prove that I'm wrong.
Yeah, we can Photoshop that picture.
Just prove that I'm wrong.
Change my mind.
Or change my mind, or whatever.
There you go.
That's the meme. The meme is
change my mind.
You say something and change my mind. And you have to sit behind something with that and hold a cup of coffee. All right. Formula E, which is, of course, Formula One with electric cars, is coming to BBC. This is interesting because it looks like Formula One was actually something the BBC used to have and they lost. And I know that somebody on this show is really excited about Formula One. And are you interested in watching the?
Okay, they chose Formula E because it sounds a lot like Formula B, which stands for boring. Okay,
no.
It's like watching slot cars. No sound.
Okay, so you really would not be interested in watching this?
No, I mean 90% of the fun of Formula One is the noise and the sound and the power and that just pure manly awesomeness of those things. And then I don't want to watch a bunch of kids in their Power Wheels cruising around. Or actually, I'd rather watch a bunch of kids in their Power Wheels than this.
I'm interested in what kind of performance these vehicles have. I mean, I'm not a big racing guy, and I kind of tend towards what you're saying, Clyde. If I was wanting to watch racing, I probably would be more inclined to go Formula One. But the Teslas for sports vehicles have extremely good performance.
Yeah,
so
but it's boring. I mean, yes, it's fast, but
yeah.
You know,
I'm just curious about the performance and what kinds of things these cars could do that would allow them to outperform a comparable, or at least
how many of them
comparable gas.
And how long before these Formula E cars are self-driving?
Yeah, there you go.
Then you don't even get crashes. They're like.
Well,
you'll see blinkers and like yielding, and that is not racing.
It'll just literally be a long line of cars all drafting each other. The last lap when all the cars just like try to pass.
The best Formula One was the death traps of the 60s, where only like you're at the end of the season, 10 of the 15 racers are dead. You know, that was racing. And yeah, I don't know. We'll give it. We'll see.
So let's make it clear. Clyde, and I'm sure many others, don't want to see the world's, these super high torque machines zip through this because it's quiet and
Boring.
it's boring. Okay.
See, I mean, like, the best kind of racing is top fuel drag. Just noisy and loud and hot and just power. Awesome.
And there's a horse race in Washington State. I forget what it's called, but basically, it's a bunch of people racing, and a part of it, they literally have to almost go down a cliff. I mean, it's like steep incline.
Oh, is that the one where they have to stop?
They have to stop?
Oh,
no.
There was something that was. Oh, I saw something where there was. It's almost like playing chicken, but you get going as fast as you can and then stop before an obstacle. Because, like, horse, I mean, part of it is getting your horse to actually do it, because your horse can be like,
I have to look it up. But the actual race is a race where the people actually are trying to get to the finish line first, but it's the part of the race is literally going over this extremely steep hill, and the horses. And at the bottom of the hill is a river that you have to cross, and it is just an absolute crazy amount of people get thrown off and fall into the water, and the horses go tumbling, and it sounds like it's just right up your alley. Messy and loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll see if I can look it up later.
Cool. I'm interested in that.
All right. Our last story for the night is Pandora, which everybody remembers from being the Music Genome Project, has taken their technology, which allows them to find similar music, and has now applied it to podcasts. This means that you can go ahead and listen to some podcasts on their service, and they will be able to suggest to you other podcasts which are similar in either style or subject or rating or whatever, and you will be able to give you a more of the same kind of information if you want.
But in true Pandora fashion, you have no say in what that is, and you can only skip like one of them every couple hours. Correct?
Oh God, that actually sounds horrible. No, if that's the case, that does sound bad, and I hope that's not the case. I hope they just use their technology to give you better suggestions. But if it is a stream of talk shows and podcasts that you might like, and you come up across someone you don't like, and if I'm not allowed to skip, I'm dropping the service like a hot rock.
That's exactly why I dropped Pandora all those years ago, is because it kept making me listen to music I didn't want to listen to, and I said, screw you. Hello, Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know that their genome project is supposed to be pretty good at finding but you know what? So is Spotify, and Spotify gives me exactly what I want, and also I have autonomy, so I'm not if you are a Pandora fanatic and you are also a podcast aficionado, then maybe you're in luck.
I spent a decent amount of time early on using Pandora as my listening, and it did find a lot of interesting music that actually I ended up liking and following along. So their algorithm, however they do it, works well enough for me, so I'm hopeful for this idea as well. Oh, and Michael is shaking his head.
My Pandora station, after a couple of months, basically played 5 songs. Just looped through 5 songs that I like, and that was pretty much it. Like, on a rare occasion, you would catch a different song, and that was about it.
Exactly what happens when you like everything outside these 5 songs you say you dislike.
See, no. Basically, what it boils down to is that they didn't have a good enough selection of the kind of music that I like. So
Gotcha.
their power metal selection was weak. So it ended up not giving me many good options. And most of the stuff that they gave me was stuff that I only sort of liked, as opposed to stuff that I really liked.
And Mike has seen firsthand the playlists that Spotify makes for me. After years of letting it know that yes, I like this band, no, I don't like that, and yeah, I can put on even when I was still free, with ads and not only being able to play in shuffle, I would rarely ever need to skip it, and it would constantly add new stuff, and I could just listen to like one playlist for hours and with almost no complaints. So yeah, I don't know. Rock on, I guess.
And with that is the end of our news for this week.
All right, and this brings us to the point of the show where we like to thank those that help make this show possible. Yes, we are talking about our patrons. Those amazing people that are so selfless that they're willing to give up some of their hard-earned cash every month. I assume most people would want to pay us to not come back.
Yeah, but is there an anti-Patreon? I mean, we need to know if there isn't, we should create
Patreon.
one.
Patreon. We will raise money to buy you off and to stop doing what you're doing. Somebody start that. I will. Yes.
I was going to say, I think that I need to make this website right now.
You do.
But luckily, we do not have a Patreon. We have a Patreon, and all of those patrons, thanks. We have completed our first month of funding, and we are moving forward. And it's weird because we have now crossed the line into this is now officially a job. It's not a hobby. We're getting paid. Not getting paid a lot, but we're still getting paid. This is now our job. So, if you guys want us to keep coming back, rock on. Let us know. And if you're not already a patron, if you got a couple bucks, even if it's just one, you can say, hey, I will support them, but limit it to one a month. Hey, rock on. That works. But yeah, that's patreon.com/thebod squad. We're happy to have y'all here along for the ride, and to those that are part of the team, we salute you. All right, should we check in with the big boys, Jay?
Oh, please let us do that.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of November 12th, 2018. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. A lot of people cry whenever they cut onions. The trick is not to form an emotional bond. It's better for everyone. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Bond Squad is in last place thanks to Overlord's $12 million debut, bringing their total of $50.7 million. Team Movie Party's in 5th place with $61.7 million. Team Game Night's in 4th place with $146.5 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming falls to 3rd place with $211.7 million. Team Have a Drink's The Girl in the Spider's Web and Dr. Seuss's The Grinch combined for 2nd place with $250.7 million. And just edging them out with $256.5 million, it's Team Ritual Misery. That's your Movie Draft Minute, all total record as of November 14, 2018.
Guys, what is going on with this season?
Yeah, this has been very interesting. I kind of feel like I should have just rip up and throw away any expectations that I've had of any movies at all.
I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody is at what, 70? I don't have it up.
It's 108 now.
Oh, 108 now.
Okay. I don't know. That may include a couple of extra days. So it's doing fairly well. I think that's probably what I expected. It's actually kind of trending to where what I expected. I've not heard great things about it though, so it makes me wonder if it's going to continue
Really?
to.
You didn't hear great things? I haven't heard anybody say any bad things, actually.
I'm only referring to things that I've heard on the interwebs, not for reals.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know
because
the critics.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that has seen it. That's the
well,
problem.
you know me.
Okay, well,
I liked
what
it.
was you liked it?
I really did. I mean, there were some points that it was very clear that Brian May was involved in writing it, or at least design, because there were several points where, like, there's arguments or whatever, and he steps in, his arms on his hips, and it's the voice of reason. Come on, guys, we are a family, and it's like, yeah, you totally wrote that. but other than that, it was fun. I thought it was an okay movie, and I went in with low expectations. But you know, this is the Clyde Love, the curse of the Clyde Love. You know, because I was super excited, and I've been waiting for this movie all year, and I went into it and I loved it, and which means it's not gonna do great.
Relatively, it's doing okay.
But it's doing okay.
108 million. That's actually I would
In
call that
spite
good.
of my love, it's doing okay.
Right. I would call that good, and I would call that an excellent couple of weeks. It might not last much longer than that. So the game night, the congratulations on a decent pick, especially compared to all the other movies which basically have been sucking it up. Like our pick of Overlord. What the hell happened there?
See, again, that's one that I think I'm actually want to see that. I don't have Cinema anymore. I don't have Movie Pass. I might actually pay real money to see that movie.
We'll take your $12 for our.
Well, and Nutcracker and the Four Realms did really poorly compared to what I expected.
Well,
my wife,
it's too soon. That is a after Thanksgiving through the beginning of the year movie.
Right. Yeah, my wife and kids went to see it last on Saturday. So
Yeah.
Maybe not opening weekend, but the weekend after.
Yeah, that's the movie that you open on Thanksgiving weekend in preparation for Christmas. When
But they
families
loved
are
it.
together.
They thought it was great. I could not go and support game night. I could not give them my money, but my wife and kids went and saw it, and they loved it. They thought it was really good. Actually, I mean, it's horrible. Nobody go see it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so we're clear.
But
yeah.
I'm
So,
still hopeful because I've
good
got
point.
two of my main movies coming up, with Bumblebee and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Which those two are. That one is a wild card. It could do really good. It could do really bad. Bumblebee should be.
It should do well its first weekend easily.
Yeah, at least the first weekend. Yeah.
I mean, is it going to do really well? Is it going to make buco bucks like some
It
of the
depends.
things supposed to?
You know.
Don't know.
we are
But now-
going for the golf score. We're going for win by golf rules. Lowest score wins.
well, basically at this point for us, it all depends on next weekend.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I
next
already have my tickets for tomorrow night for my whole family to go see Fantastic Beasts. So I will be seeing it opening weekend, and I may buy 3 or 4 dozen more tickets just to help pad the numbers. Not
my
really,
wife and
but-
I are also going to watch it, but we cannot see it until the weekend after that. So, but
Okay.
so yeah, I expect Fantastic Beasts to make a decent killing, especially the first weekend. But Rotten Tomato scores are right now mixed.
Well, nobody else is going to see movies right now, so they're not going to see any of the other movies. So why not this one?
That there's a huge following for anything Harry Potter, so there's a good possibility we will make a lot of money with this. And if Venom can make lots of money, so with a mediocre to bad film, hopefully Fantastic Beasts can do the same thing.
If Venom can make a make that much movie off of what I've heard, then Fantastic Beasts should do phenomenally well.
And
so if Fantastic Beasts can carry us to the end, I will be happy to give it all the credit for our for any kind of placement above bottom for us, because so far everything else has been crap.
Anytime anybody says that they're a fan of Harry Potter, you say from Troll. Because Harry Potter was the guy in the movie Troll long before Harry Potter the series came out.
I don't know. I haven't seen Troll, so
yeah, we watched it in the movie night. It was Troll 1, not Troll 2. And Harry Morgan played Colonel Potter, so that's what I always think of on MASH.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I have no interest in the Harry Potter universe. So,
well, it will be interesting to see. And if you guys go to my page, I now have a kind of fun chart tab on there where you can see the money coming in, flowing in, and see how everything is being added up for the different movies. It's a little experiment of mine, and it seems to be working okay. So. Cool. Please provide feedback if you're interested to see more interesting stuff. Also, it should now be telling you whether or not all the data is loaded on the front page. It's hard to get it to try to reload so in order for me to test it. So I really need to do a little bit more reloading to see if it'll actually prompt for that. But it should work now. It should pop up and say yes, it's actually still loading.
Okay.
Where is this?
So if you go to the page. You'll notice there's two new tabs. The chart data tab is useless. It's just for me to fill in some data. And then the domestic chart tab provides you with a nice fancy line chart. It shows you all the monies coming in for the different movies.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. As you can see, Venom has been the one to beat. But also, it's very interesting. The Night Shul has been this very nice beeline of whether or not the movie is successful or not. It's been a very nice. If it goes above it, you can call it a success. If it's below it, you could probably call it not a success. And Night Shul has been. I mean, I think it is still to this day the best bang for the buck.
Well, yeah.
Purchased. Not even on purpose.
Well, they didn't purchase. It's like that thing. It's like that thing that showed up in your shopping bag, and you get home, and you're like,
"I didn't order this."
I've got an example. When I was in the Navy, I went to the NEX, the exchange, the grocery store department store on base. And when I got back to the ship, there was a PlayStation game in my bag that I was like, what is this Star Ocean thing? I was like, I don't know anything about this. I never would have purchased. I don't know how it got mixed in with my stuff, and I bought it. And I played it, and that is the only video game franchise I have ever stuck with. I've gone back and played old versions as they've been released. I bought a PS4 specifically so I could play the version that came out in 2016, all because of a game that I didn't intend to buy. I didn't even know I bought it. So, yeah. Sometimes you get stuck with something that ends up being awesome. So, good on you, Night Shul. All right, should we get into some rants and raves? All right, guys, what you got? Hit me.
I want to start by saying that I am trying with my wife too, because every night we all go to bed when we stay up and we try to watch 1 or 2 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise because we're trying to plow through the seasons. Because I believe I sometime in the 3rd season dropped off and missed out on the last of it. So we've been working on that for weeks now, and we're now on middle of season 4. We should hopefully be done by next week. That's been something we've been actually doing, and it's actually been really good compared to what I remember about it. So the other thing I wanted to say is that this is my podcasting setup, and I'm actually happy with how it's been working for me. Very nice. But I also am kind of the guy who loves to play with, what I can and can't do with my own hardware and software. And so I called Clyde yesterday and said, "Hey, I need to double check that I didn't screw something up with the stream, because if I can't stream, this has to go back to how it originally was." I'm not running Linux as my only operating system on this computer, and
Terrifying.
it's wonderful. I like it, of course. I like being able to see what I can do. I've got Discord on here. I've got it running Windows games using some very, very I wouldn't call it beta. I would call it like beta level Windows emulation wine, but it's doing a really good job. I can play almost anything on Steam now. It's fun to see what you can and can't do outside of the norm, and at any time I feel like it, I can go back to Windows and put it on here. It'll just take a little while too, but so it's but it was important for me, just so you know, for me to call Clyde and say, let's make sure this doesn't completely bonker our.
And I was driving at the time, and it was so important that I raced home.
You did.
Did
your engine make lots of noise? Was it very dangerous?
Oh, I wouldn't drive any other way.
Well, then you had lots of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Michael.
That's it for me.
I've been gone. I wasn't here last week. I was out of town for a weekend, went to New Orleans, and had to catch up on as a result. So I really haven't seen a lot or done a lot. Watching podcasts and trying to catch up on the podcasts that I missed. So yeah, sure. Nothing. Oh, well, I'll come back about, I talked a little bit about getting set up with Project Stream, right?
Yeah.
So I have been playing that a lot. The game is absolutely outstanding. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is phenomenal. It is a great game. I am probably going to buy it for my PC or my Xbox One, because the more I play it streaming, the more awful it gets. I believe that. Well, so the first big issue was when I started doing ship battles with the particles and stuff that you get from the ocean spray and whatnot. I think I can't decide if it's the streaming service is getting too many people using it, or if it just can't handle it. Also, I am almost 100% of the time showing spotty connection. But I can stream multiple 4K videos throughout the house and not have problems. So I don't know why I'm having issues with my connection when I do a diagnostic with my Google Wi-Fi. It says my Wi-Fi is outstanding. It says my internet connection's outstanding, 200 megabits per second down, 10 up. There's no real excuse for it to not be working phenomenally well, but it is not, ever. And the more I've played it, the more consistently it's getting awful and more awful. My guess is they've got more and more people playing it, and it's just degrading the quality more.
Utilization will be a big, and also the CDN that whoever they're paying to transport that data. Because I know yesterday one of those CDNs had a major outage, which was causing all kinds of problems for sites that you wouldn't even expect. So, yeah.
Well, today I played it, and last night I played it, and it was like Oh geez, I feel like I would have gotten better graphics quality out of the GameCube, the Nintendo
Aw.
Cube. I mean, it was, not 8-bit bad, but it was pretty awful. Like, I can remember video games maybe 2 decades ago that were better graphics. So,
All right.
Well, just remember that it is a test, and I'm sure that they will take your feedback and do
Yeah.
nothing with it.
well, hopefully it's a growth thing where
Right.
they're starting to get more people using it, and they're going to have to apportion more hardware to it, or they'll realize that it's not cost effective. And
Maybe were literally load testing it, and then they wanted to see how bad it got when it got under load. So who knows? You're testing it for them. You're a test subject. You don't know why they do the things they do.
it's been free, so that's made me happy. I got to try the game out free. It is well worth paying for, though. That's my rave.
All right.
Rave, the game is awesome. Rant,
Very cool.
the service isn't working to a standard
So
that I
you're
would.
saying definitely buy the game for your console.
Yeah,
Don't.
or your PC.
Oh, no, that's
I-
what I meant. Whatever your
I'm playing it on my PC, and I
Platform
love it on the
choices.
PC, so probably PC.
just.
Though it's
not
into the
the
100
streaming
gigs of hard drive space.
Yeah, whatever. I don't
It
know.
only takes up a terabyte. What's the issue?
A tenth of a terabyte, but yes.
Kidding. All right. Hey, next weekend, when you guys are done getting over your turkey high and fighting with people at the Black Friday sales, everyone should join us for the movie party. It is this is my rave because it is our 2-year anniversary. We've been doing the movie party. We're starting our 3rd year next weekend. So we've technically completed 2 years. We're going to go back and revisit the very first movie we watched, which was Zombievers. And the movie and I think it was decided that we will go back and watch last year's movie, Thanksgiving. Because there are a lot of people that have joined us over those years that weren't around for that first episode. And apparently even my producer, who has been there since the beginning, she missed Thanksgiving last year. So it's going to be fun. We get to watch beavers killing teenagers, 30-year-old teenagers, and a turkey killing 30-year-old, 20-year-olds. It's it's gonna be fun. So if you are a patron, I guess there's not anything you need to do right now. We've already done all that. So follow the movie party at movie party or DC Movie Party on Twitter, and movieparty.net for the website and information on how to join us. All right, guys, and I think that will wrap up this show. A reminder to everybody that next Wednesday, we will be here the day before Thanksgiving, and that will mark our 3rd annual Black Friday extravaganza. I'm going to set up a channel in the Discord so if anybody finds any smoking deals that need to be shared, I'd say preferably national availability online is beneficial, because like regional stuff may not appeal to a lot of people, but if over this next week, if you got whatever you guys run across seems too good to be true, post it in there. We'll run through that list next week. If you haven't already joined, we have a Discord. So if you didn't get the invite, or you don't know where it is, just give someone a shout. We'll get you in there. We got some growing to do, but we are getting there. All right, and yep, thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you stick around for the after show so that we can pick a title. Head on over to tvs.showbot.tv if you want to throw that remind. I got it. Never mind.
Sure.
Yeah, and if you're watching this or listening to this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central on Twitch. You should join us. This is where the real fun happens. You get a chance to in the chat to name the show, to derail our conversations, to point out that we are utterly and completely wrong, and you
Frozen.
Yeah.
No mic,
Right,
pre-show on, all
Exactly.
the fun things.
That's what we rely on you guys for. So, everybody, we'll see you in the post show. If you're not here, we'll check you next week. Bye.
Haters.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.